I'm plugging somebody in right now. The main educator, no greater, never a hater, but the best supporter of my mother's daughter, my own sister, live in effect. Can you get on? I just put you on. Here we go, boom. Anyway, like I said, none greater the originator, educator, Nadies.
Hey,
What's going on?
I was trying to figure out how to get on this thing.
I never did that before, so I just figured it out just by when you just waved, and I said, "There's got to be an easy way to do this." What's up?
I'm fine.
What's up, Nad?
I got my balloons here too.
Boom.
Because we're May babies.
We're all May babies. My sister right here on the bottom screen is an educator. She's been a teacher and an inspiration to a lot of children and families for as long as past how many years have you been teaching?
Officially, I have been teaching since 2005.
2005. Wow. So
before that, 2003 overseas.
So my sister's been a world-class educator, educating children of the likes of... What grades do you teach again?
When I was overseas, can you hear me clearly?
I hear you loud and clear. You hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Overseas, I had all ages of students. I had some Congress people. I had heart surgeons. I had computer engineers. And I also had children. So I had students that were younger than me. I had students that were my age. And I had students that were older than me. That could have been my grandparents, But we gotta say also that you were teaching overseas in Korea. Yes.
Yeah. And so with that said, how did you find the experience of teaching overseas versus teaching with children now in America? I know there's a lot of similarities, but what were the key differences that you noticed teaching abroad?
Well, the system over there was kind of designed for students to go to school on a much longer scale in terms of the daily routine. Students would be, out of the house at least by 6, 7 o'clock. I actually had a 6 a.m. class at one point. So we had the business people who wanted to learn English, and they would get to the class before they started work. And then they would spend an hour in class, and then they would go to work. And then we also had kids that would come to school in the afternoon, after school. So that was a hagwon, kind of like a after school program. And they were
what you call that? What you call it?
Hagwon.
Hagwon.
Not to be confused with
Wagwan. Yo.
But
it was a hagwon.
Yeah, that's what they call
the
institute.
Hagwon.
Yeah. It was a beautiful experience, and I was living there. I was there for 1 year. A lot of my friends, they re-signed their contract, but I had loved ones and family members here, so I came back.
Right. And I learned a lot from you at that time because I was in college myself, and you had already passed. You were older than me by a few days, years.
Yeah.
But well, when I say days, let me be clear. We are 2 weeks apart in birthday days.
We're born on the same day of the week.
Same day of the week, 2 weeks apart, and 3 years after.
Yeah.
Right.
So we were meant to be brother and sister.
Mom and Dad figured that out really well. So, but what I would say the most is, so you were a very big influence on me when you were away because I was so impressed by the work you were doing and all the... No, you know that. I hope I told you. I know I've told you before, but I will tell you again. You were a very big inspiration on me growing up because of your work in education and your passion and and the things that you were doing outside of these states. And even when you came back, you and I have always had a close connection, and I've learned a lot from you. So it's no surprise that you became an educator, officially teaching people and teaching them your ways and the ways of the world. And in Korea, I was really like learning a lot from you because you were learning the language. Like you picked it up like no problem. You got there and you were like, yeah, no. And you were just like a normal person there. Like it felt like you were one of the natives there.
Well, I mean, if you like when in Rome, do as the Romans do, right? So the fact that when I was there, I had some food restrictions, and I had different things that I wanted to know, and I wanted to be able to survive. So there's a certain amount of survivability that you need. So you have to learn their language. And it was so funny because I was just leaving Texas, that Texas environment where
exactly.
I would hear a lot of people say, oh, certain groups, you're in America now, you need to learn English. But going over to another country, I found a lot of Americans asking people, does anyone speak English? Please, English, anyone? And it just so happened that English was becoming the second language over there. So just out of respect for that country and for their culture, I had to learn 2 or 3 words. And we also were raised in a bilingual household. So
yeah,
it was.
Yeah, I would say even trilingual for so much of the the differences between French and Creole, and then English being our native language in America. But native is in the terms of where we live, but not where our heritage and culture is from.
But also take into account the fact that French and Creole are very closely related to Spanish. So able to understand a lot of Spanish. And we have a cousin who is a native Spanish speaker, and she translates documents. And as she started to read documents in Italian, she's like, wait a minute, Italian is so closely related to Spanish. She's like, I think I'm going to do this thing. And she was actually able to find work as, translating documents in Italian. So anyway, because of that, I really just enjoyed learning their language.
Right.
I played some games, like some word association games.
Right.
Try to help me remember the vocabulary in Korea.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think language is important that's one thing I'm really fascinated by. I know you took after mom because you speak several languages and you adapt languages quickly. You adapt to the cadence and the nuances of every language. It feels like that you've taken on.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when you came back to America, you would trip up and speak to me in Korean by accident. And what's the language of Korean? I don't want to say the wrong.
Hangul.
Okay, so
Hangul chokomaraso. I'm showing off now.
Nah, that's what you gotta do. That's what you're supposed to do.
But I don't remember that much. But I made sure that like certain terms that like I really held on to them so I could remember them.
Mm-hmm.
Like the word chokum, right?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think of when you hear chokum?
Chokum. If somebody says it to me, I'm running the other way.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not staying around.
Exactly.
I don't know.
I could picture.
Chokum.
Yeah.
I'm out.
I could picture like Homer Simpson, like choking Bart Simpson. Chokum.
Chokum.
Right. But the word chokum means just a little bit. That's what it means. Yeah.
Oh, snap. I never would have thought of that.
Yeah, that's the meaning of it. So anytime I wanted to like learn a word, I'm like, okay, what can I relate this word to? What can I connect it to? What's in my memory bank of what I know already? And then every time I would think of that word, I would associate the image with it,
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway.
So.
Yeah. I've been.
So I was.
Mm-hmm.
I was saying that you picked up the language there, and you even picked up the language in Texas because you came back with a little bit of an accent too when you were down there.
No Texas country twang.
Yeah, you know.
You put telling me I sounded like Beyonce. I was like, all right.
Yeah.
Beyonce's a Texan. She's from Houston.
Yeah, I heard. I mean, I realized that because yeah, I've been hearing about that.
Yep.
Yeah, you didn't happen to meet her down there while you were there, right?
People who went to school with her. So
yeah,
I guess 6 degrees of separation.
And a shout out to Beyonce if you're hearing this. Let us know what you're reading. Hit us up on the Open Book Over My Challenge.
Yeah, cool.
If Jay-Z wants to sprinkle some words in there as well, we'll tolerate them. We'll put them in.
There's room at the table, right?
There's room for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so no, it's good to have you online with us and sharing your experience. And what books are you interested in right now? Are you reading anything amazing, or are you thinking about getting back into any books?
Yeah, there are a few books that I've come across, and they're very near and dear to me because I have my platform also called Afrikreyol.
There you go.
That's where we explore the beauty and the diversity of Afro-Caribbean culture.
There we go. And tune in on that program. Where can we find you if you want to look for your previous episodes and interviews?
You can look up Lady Nay on YouTube, and you'll see me there with a purple scarf on, with my eyes closed, having a quiet moment.
And if you also look her up on Facebook, you have a Facebook page?
Yeah, my Facebook is, that's more personal.
Okay. So you're developing that. But in the meantime, if you go to the Ever After Found programs page, you'll notice that we did an interview when we had the grand opening of the reading station out here in Fitchburg. My sister and my brother, Alvin, my brother-in-law, because I don't want it to sound weird that he's married to you and he's my brother. But that's my brother anyway, in all senses of the word. Otherwise, you guys came out with the crew, with the whole thing and the whole get up, and you did the interview, and it was very, very meaningful for me because now we have this moment in history that you traveled up for to contribute and capture that event of our grand opening. The reading station is out there at the largest park, most utilized area in our city, and it's basically an outdoor book station that kids can come in, families, individuals, single people without any children or families can come out and grab a book and leave one on their way out.
Yeah.
And they can read it while they're at the park, or they can read it at home. So you were there at that moment. So if you guys want to know more of the work and the professional, great quality level of programming that my sister does, check us out on the Ever After Found programs page. Look at the reading station, and you'll see proof of what my sister's program, the kind of things that she does on her program, as well as YouTube as well. Lady Nay was Ladyynay.
Yeah, Lady Nay. Yeah, and that day was a lot of fun. And I have to tell you, ever since I attended the unveiling of the lending library, it's like I've noticed them in different places, but I'm not saying this just because you're my brother, but yours is kind of on a different scale. I haven't seen anything that's more as beautifully crafted,
Yeah.
It's detailed, it's very intricate, very inviting. So I really enjoyed being there. And I like what it stands for. I like what the community, how they benefit from it.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun. So going back at the episode over and over again, seeing how like your carpenter came and he put his contribution in there, and how the children were so excited. It's like really, it's a community building type of endeavor,
I appreciate that. And I want to shout out Chris Latort of Wayland Painting and Woodcrafts. He was my partner in that endeavor. He was one of the community members. He actually lives in a neighboring town, and him and I were always at the same spaces because he was the coach for my children's soccer team. And so I mentioned to a couple of the parents what I was venturing out to do, because I had just gotten approval from the Board of Parks and Recreations of our city, Fitchburg, to build this thing. And then I got the approval. Everybody was excited, and I was like, man, now what? And
Now
I couldn't. I even had 3D prints of my idea. I had drawings. I had everything, and I just had no tools. I had no know-how. It's so much like, I fix things around the house. I never took anything on in that magnitude, in that space. So when I asked Crystal and I spoke to him about it, he was like, yeah, let's do it. And we took about a year or so out of our lives to make sure everything was in place. Safety protocols were met. Weatherproofing all the spaces, and just maintaining utmost care for that project to be into real life, from a concept to into fruition, like as a real station for the community. And we did build it in a sizable amount of space so that it wouldn't be full to capacity when 2 or 3 people came and everyone else was like, I have things that I want to contribute or receive as well. Mm-hmm. So it can fit over 300 books if you put them out, paperback. Mm-hmm. And with sections where everyone can get something, from the kids to the grown-ups to anywhere in between. Mm-hmm. So no, I was really excited of how it came out, and I appreciate you coming as well.
Alvin always says that, like, it's not just about just creating something and just putting it out there. It has to be of a certain quality, and it has to be durable, and it has to last. So
yeah,
the way
we've lasted 2 winters already.
Yeah.
And it's still there, the same as it was, and probably a little bit of paint,
Yeah.
and things like that. But we're waiting to, reopen it again in its back to its regular splendor once we are all able to come back out and hopefully, contribute more and exchange as well in that space. So, yeah, it was a great project. It was something that I was really inspired to do, and a lot of people came around and supported that, especially you and Chris and all the family and friends that came out the grand opening. But yeah, no, I've just spoken to a lot of the people are now asking still if they can bring books to it, and I'm kind of like, it's open, it's free for all, but the parks aren't.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it's all based on trying to make sure we do it in a safe, we're following the best safety procedures to help not spread or contaminate things and all, but also doing it responsibly. So if you can exchange with someone and do that directly, then that's fine as well.
Yeah.
But we're hoping to get more contributions for books once we're able to again.
So speaking of books, you asked me if there's anything that I'm into. In November, I had the pleasure of meeting a Haitian professor and historian. Her name is Dr. Baina Bello. And she does a lot of lectures in English, in Creole, and she talks about the history of the Caribbean. And she's experienced, a lot of Caribbean heroes and generals and people like that. And so she said in her experience, she kept on hearing a lot of stories about men and about, these guys that all contributed to the freedom of the Haitian independence and the movement and all these things. And she said she asked herself, well, it was just men involved? Like, where are the ladies?
I see where you're going with this. Yeah, I read some things too, but not at length with I've read about women who were part of the revolution, and a lot of women who stood up and were in the forefront of the battles for liberation.
Yeah.
In Haiti especially, there were some women that were legendary. Haiti and a couple of St. Lucia, I think.
Yeah.
And I forget. They were sure they were everywhere. They were probably the forces that encouraged the great leaders, or were actively involved themselves. Mm-hmm. So what does she have to say about that? The lady you met with. Oh wow!
Perfect. This is the perfect angle, so there's no reflection.
What do they call that? Thumbnail. Hold on. Let me do a thumbnail. Can I do that on this? I can't do it. I did it. Okay, I took a picture.
Okay, so I did not write this book, but it was written by Professor Baina Bello, and she's lecturing for many, many years. She's kind of like what you call, I learned this word, a griot. We'll talk about that later.
I know.
Yeah. Griot has two different meanings. And then again, my love of language comes up again. But yeah, what were you going to say?
I was going to say it goes well with pickles. And it also goes well with tradition and storytelling.
Okay. Yes, exactly.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah. So a griot is in African, in the was it the Swahili, I think, or the Yoruba language, that is an African storyteller, basically like a walking library, a walking encyclopedia. But Asian culture, griot is fried meat, and people go crazy for that. So, I went to this festival, and this one guy was playing the drums, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm a griot. This is the griot drum." And I'm like, "You're the fried chicken drummer? Like fried turkey drummer?" And then I learned from from Dave Chappelle that is a storyteller, and it's also in this book too, which is I'm gonna stick to one book at a time.
No. I want to hear about them all.
Yeah.
But it gives you it brings a new life to the word drumstick when you talking about griot.
Oh. Yeah, literal drumstick. You're right. I didn't even think about that.
You said the guy was a drummer, a griot drummer.
Yeah, there's so many associations. Anyway, I want to give a shout out to my girl Carmen, who had joined on. I don't know if she's still on, but anyway, thanks for joining on. So yes, this story. Oh hey, Tasha, my friend Tasha. She's also an educator. This book basically talks about not only the heroes, but mainly the sheroes of the Haitian Revolution. And I had learned about this lady right here. Her name is Aunt Toya. She's one of the ladies that really sticks out in this book. And the reason why she's so relevant is because last year when I had visited Haiti, actually 2 years ago.
Yeah, I'm here.
I heard her story, Aunt Toya. And Aunt Toya's story is really, really fascinating because she is actually a general in her tribe in Africa where she lived, in Dahomey. So she was like a trained warrior. And she fought off a lot of the captors who wanted to capture her and people in her village, but eventually she succumbed to being captured, and she was brought over to Haiti, which at the time was called Haiti or Hispaniola.
Actually, that was from the Taino Indian or Taino American. Was it Taino?
Native American.
I think it's. I don't want. But anyway, the Taino culture. Yeah.
So, Aunt Toya, having the skills and the military training that she had, she had a lot of know-how, and she met up with a woman who was pregnant, and the woman was trying to escape from slavery. And so with this journey being so taxing on the woman, she felt that she would not live that long. So she asked Aunt Toya to take the child and to raise the child and to train him up, the best way that she could. So this woman actually asked the best possible person, because Aunt Toya was trained in military combat.
Wow.
So what she did is she raised the child. She brought him up as her own because she didn't have any children at the time. And the person that she actually ended up raising was one of the Haitian liberators who's called Jean-Jacques Dessalines. So
Wow.
Major military strategist in the
Wow.
for the Haitian Revolution.
Wow.
Yeah. And so fast forward, after my trip to Haiti and learning about Aunt Toya, then there was a certain street in Brooklyn that was codenamed Jean-Jacques Dessalines.
You were there at the opening.
I was
at the revealing of the sign.
Yes.
That's on your program. It's on Afrikreyol too.
Page. It's on my YouTube page, and I got to meet a lot of influential people. Hey, Andrew, I want to say hello to my friend Andrew Brata Clark, who has just as much passion as I do about learning about Caribbean culture and, Caribbean history and the stories and how we're all interrelated and how we're all interconnected. And Andrew has a lot of events that links you to some good, authentic Caribbean artists. Some of the classic ones. I got to meet Mr. Smith. I don't know why his name escapes me right now. Ernie Smith. Thank you, baby. I got to meet Ernie Smith, who's had thank you, babe, a 50-year career in, promoting Jamaican Caribbean culture. And I also got to meet Mr. Pluto Shervington because of Andrew. So Andrew has a lot of cultural events that keeps people aware of what's going on. And actually, I met that griot drummer at the event that Andrew put together. So
it's all going full circle right now. This whole conversation and everything that we've been discussing is all connected.
Yeah. So big shout out to
Andrew. Welcome to the program, Andrew.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you.
I have a few interviews with him, so you can see them if you go to my YouTube page. But anyway, going back. So I love this book because it highlights so many of the women that were involved in the stories of the Haitian Revolution, and their stories that you would have never really known about, and
Hey, we got disconnected. I'm sorry. I think the revolution was being televised and they didn't like that. I'm gonna try and connect my sister back because she was just in the middle of an amazing discussion right there with me and explaining some things she read from an amazing book. So let me see if I can get you back on. Yeah, there you go. Alright, let me see if I can get you back. Alright. Boop. And boop. And let's see what happens. Boom. Sorry about that. It was getting too heavy for the internet. I think they were really hating on the great conversations we were having, so they chopped us. But welcome back to Open Mind Challenge live session. And for those who are just tuning in and just missed part of our other live session, my sister was just talking about her experience down there. That's my sister, and the book that she was reading. Nadine is the host of Afrikreyol, which you can find on YouTube and search under Lady Nay. She was just telling us about her experience reading that book and the author she met, and also the events that she's been engaged in the Caribbean circuit of New York, and also covering through her program Afrikreyol. So, take it away.
Yeah, one of the things that I was really impressed by when I met Dr. Baina Bello is I asked her, I said, how are these women's stories relevant to us? And I asked her if she was inspired by what those women did. And she said, excuse me, young lady, this is not a compilation about what they did. She said this was a compilation about what you did in the past. And I was like, whoa, my mind is so blown. And it really helps you to connect with your roots, your history, and the power of what you can accomplish when you organize yourself.
Yeah.
And when you join forces with people who are like-minded.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And thank you for that, because I definitely want to read it, because I had learned about, I'm going to mess up her name. She was one of the queens of the Caribbean and Haiti when Haiti was still free from any slave influence or
About
the golden flower. Booyah.
is it Anacaona?
There you go. I was just about to tell you about her. Now, her story is similar to what Disney tried to create as Pocahontas' tale, but imagine replacing that with her being a daughter of I think a general or some kind of royalty in that time, and seeing colonizers coming towards the island in droves and trying to infiltrate. And for her and her kingdom, and I think they kidnapped her husband.
Yeah.
And they tried to hold him for hostage and ransom. And I think her negotiation was to marry her husband's freedom away as an exchange. Tell me if I'm wrong, but I remember reading that a long time ago.
Yeah. There are a lot of. This one doesn't go into that much detail. It just gives you like one page, but it sounds like it sounds similar to what you're saying.
Yeah, and then her sacrifice and her exchange was to get I think her husband's freedom so that he can go back and reign as
yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is, it ended up tragically because I think she went out there and tried to take everybody down with her. And she didn't go down without a fight, and I think she lost her life, but she took a great deal of effort into trying to free her people.
Yeah, a lot of her family members were slain, and she was one of the surviving members, like one of the last ones to.
Yeah, and she held her own as a female warrior, princess /
Yeah.
It's.
Unfortunately.
And then after that, that's when the colonizers came over and took over, and then they started their pillaging process of
Eventually, she was killed.
Yeah, and there's actually a site in Haiti that's dedicated to her, a statue.
Yeah. Well, I went to this one hotel in Haiti, La Boucanier, and or was it Le Boucanier? I'm not sure, but it's like a buccaneer, and there's such a beautiful mural there that was drawn in dedication to Anacaona, and it's in Leogan, and that's really where it happened, in Leogan.
Okay, so I'm glad that I'm not surprised that she put in that book, but that's one of my favorite heroes of that era, and now I'm learning more about it from what you're saying with that book, so I want to definitely get that too.
This is Dr. Bello right here. That's her picture.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And it's good that she did that and put it together, because there's not a lot of information, whereas, maybe there is, and I just don't know about it, but you don't hear about it out here in mainstream media or in our school systems. Obviously, we're not in the Caribbean school.
Yeah.
But it's good to know about your culture and your roots, and also the people who made profound sacrifices and gave up a lot to what things are now, and hopefully we're encouraged by their stories too.
Yeah, and that night that I attended that event, I also got the pleasure of meeting, I think it's Mr. Alexis, Kevin. It's not Kevin. It's Bunce. This guy who published all these books right here. And you had told me that he does a lot of events. Yep.
I know you're talking about
Revolution for Young Caribbean Children, and he kind of translates it in English.
Yeah, I know about him. We spoke about them as he's a bookman and everything. Yeah,
so that night I was also able to meet that gentleman too.
Oh, good. He's from Brooklyn. He's in Brooklyn, right? Rather, he's not from Brooklyn, but
Yes.
he's in New York too. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, maybe we could talk to him at some point, or even the doctor we just spoke about. And
Dr. Bayina Bello.
Yeah.
She travels all over the world and does a lot of lectures and things like that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
As did you. And now you're lecturing us through your books and your choices. You traveled the world, and now we're hearing about your tales.
Yeah, it is nice to share. I enjoy sharing, and I love talking about Caribbean culture. So that's why I'm going to hold off on all the books that I wanted to share tonight.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep them for the next edition.
Yeah, I was gonna say let's not give everybody too much because I don't want to scare them away and have so many of a reading list for people to be overwhelmed by. But I think the book that you shared is definitely something I'm gonna borrow from you at whenever we get together.
Yeah,
I'd love to read that to the kids.
Yeah, it's a simple, and I think both children as well as adults could learn from this book. It's a very thin book. It's very small, so it's going to take up all your time. And it's not an encyclopedia, but it will give you that first introduction, like the appetizer to the information. And then once you know the names and the dates and the location, like just the basic primary information, then you can go and search for more, Yeah.
Well, I appreciate your time. I appreciate that exchange that you just
It was fun.
With us.
It was fun being on the line with you.
Yeah, and I will definitely I really do want to buy that book, so I'm gonna ask you for it when we get off.
Yeah,
let you finish reading it.
I know where you live. I can always come and get it from you.
Yeah, or I might just buy one. You know what I mean? I might support the doctor as well, because we definitely should have that in our house. Yeah, we have some good books. But yeah, let's talk about it, and I'll let you know when I get mine. And stay tuned, everyone else who has your book requests, and everyone else who's been following our program and wants so much more of our archive information, all the books and things that we discussed. Check us out on YouTube. Check us out on Ever After Found programs page. Check us out on Facebook and over here on Instagram.
Well,
check out Afrikreyol as well on YouTube, Lady Nate.
Yes, I was gonna say, since you were asking where to get the book from, people can go to thoroughbredbooks.com. Thoroughbredbooks.com. THOROBRED books BOOKS.com.
There we have it. Thoroughbred Books. Thanks for your contributions, and hopefully we'll be exchanging with you too.
Yep. Okay.
All right, Nat. I'm going to read some books. I'm just kidding. That's right. That's what I'm supposed to say, but I'm just playing around, guys. We do things here as well. We have other things we do as well. But, when you get a chance, pick up a book. If you hear it and you read it and you love it, let us know about it and we'll talk about it. All right, everyone. Have a good night. Not going to keep you too long, but this is a quick little check-in with you guys. And check in next week. We're going to have another new episode of the Open Book, Open Mind Challenge. Amazing guests, amazing challengers. As you saw tonight with my own sister. She took on the Open Book, Open Mind Challenge with me in a live session. So Nadine, you are also now a champion of the Open Book, Open Mind Challenge.
Oh my God.
Yeah, look at you.
Feel good.
But we'll keep this going, and I'll let you know about the other upcoming programs. Like I said, if you want to know more, check us out. We have websites, we have Facebooks, we have Instagrams, and all that. Self-promoting is all done with, but I just want you guys to know where you can find amazing content and great exchange for educational resources at After Found and Afrikreyol.
Okay, good night.
Good night. Talk to you later.
Bye.